It's not rocket science. This is math, and you have things that can help you to get in a better situation before that next emergency happens, before you're going to get stuck with debt that's going to be $235 a month. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous that they're even allowed to offer you that. You're going to have to be smarter than the paper that is written on. And you are. You just have not been taught that there are lines of credit that can really change your whole financial outlook. When we're in 5, 6, 7% mortgage interest rates, the Money Max is the only thing that's going to bring that down quickly and hit it hard where you're sitting. A line of credit, I love. I'm going to always have a line of credit for as long as the banks will allow us to have them. But a line of credit doesn't move as quickly when you're in this large mortgage and then you have a smaller line. And even if you have a personal line, you can chunk that mortgage all day long and it's going to reduce the interest that you're going to be paying. You're going to get out of the mortgage faster. But the Money Max comes in without the large chunks, without the line of credit. That's what I'm saying. If you don't have a line of credit, or if you can't get a line of credit, and if you're like the woman that was what-ifing me to death earlier, don't move into a line. Then get the Money Max and let it help you. At least get a free personal analysis so you can see what it's going to do for you. But don't just sit there spinning your wheels. Look at everything you need to look at for your situation. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for your children. Do it for your spouse that you're nagging to death because we need to work more. You're not working enough. I need to pick up a second job. We've got to stop the kids' sports because we can't afford this anymore. Been there, done that. You don't have to be there. You just have to get into a strategy. It's free. Stop acting like somebody's trying to scam you out of something. These are free. This is free educational moments for you. I don't need it. I already have it. I'm talking to you. Find out what options are available to you. And for goodness sake, if you have not checked into infinite banking, you have got to learn about that concept. That has been a game changer for me to the point of recently. I love that. I'm sharing things with you that I love. I'm sharing things with you that I have family members in. This isn't just blow Joe out here that I don't know. Yes, I work with clients every day, but when I'm putting family members into these tools, do you think that I'm crazy? You know how backstabbing that could be if I direct somebody in the wrong way? I'm not trying to advise you. I'm trying to talk to you about the things that I have used, the things that I have seen develop into beautiful strategies just because I have been walking in them, watching them, looking at how they work, and then sharing it with you. And it's all for you. It's all for you. So check out the strategies that are in the videos. If you don't like them, walk away. Walk away. I don't care one bit if you do velocity banking. I'm not going to be mad at you. I don't care one bit if you don't want to look into infinite banking concept, the policies. I don't care. I don't care if you don't want to look at Money Max and learn something. I don't care. You're the one that needs the help. And I'm telling you, everything that I just named is a tool. I just want to show you ways that it's going to make your financial life so much better if you will just get serious about finding out what you're doing with your money. And I'm not talking about Dave Ramsey, let's do a budget and let's get frugal and let's, never step outside of work in our home again. I'm talking about what you're doing with your money when it comes to what tools you have that you're using from the bank. Okay? You've got to get really detailed and serious about what's going on with these payments that you're making. I worked with a couple last week. They had a $4,000 house payment per month. They had a 7% interest, which is 140% interest. And $3,800 of their $4,000 was going to interest only. $4,000 payment had $3,800 going to interest only. That meant that every month they got $200 of their $4,000 applied to interest. Is that fair? Is that fair at all? They were never going to pay that house off. I was so thankful that they came to me to work with me so that I could show them. And when they found out that after running their numbers that they had about 7 years until they got to pay off everything, yeah, it wouldn't have happened if they would have stayed in the mortgage. So guys, don't pay people to look at your finances. You have all of these videos. Watch them. Watch them. Learn how to organize your own debt into what tools and get out of debt so much faster, okay? If you don't have debt, you can do what I do, and I put all of my savings into infinite banking. The infinite banking concept is beautiful. So what did we do the next year? Okay, I'm a single mom. I was a single mom at that time. There was no extraordinary income that I was making. About $5,200 a month. About $1,300 a week. Bring home. So, when the second vacation that we went on was to Orlando. We went to the Universal Parks down there. I'd never been there before. So we went down there. We spent a week. We got the nicest hotel. We had the fast passes. Everybody knows what that is. We spent a week, I think it was 6 nights, and came home the 7th. But we went to this place called Capone's. It's a little musical theater. It was awesome. $200 a head at that time to get in. We did anything and everything they wanted to do. And you know what? In New York City, I'm going to go back there. I used to pay for taxi cabs just because I wanted the experience of running around town in a taxi cab, because that's all I'd ever seen on TV. So I couldn't wait to get in the taxi cab. I did not want to do the subway, just saying, I wanted to do the taxi cab. So the point is even though that taxi driver cost me $100, I still was going to take it. That's what I'm saying. Come out of that, we can't do anything because we're broke. No, I don't want anybody to live like that. Nobody. Okay? So, the point being, we went to Orlando the next year. The next year, my daughter, one of them, came up and decided that she wanted to go to Washington, D.C. just to see a musical up there. And that musical was very expensive. And I'm like, why not? So we jump in the car, we go to Washington, D.C. I'd never been there either. I didn't like it as much as New York City, but we went. It was cold. It was February. So we stayed there. I think we were planning to stay there 2 nights. Saw the musical. It was a Broadway that had come up there. It was Chess, the musical. Then was heading back home and a snowstorm hit. And you know what? We had to stop and get a hotel. And I didn't even panic. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I don't have any money for a hotel. No. $800 is going to interest, and $200 is going to your principal to pay off that amount that you borrowed. So if you have $100,000, if you have $100,000 balance on your home, which many of you have 3 or 4 times that, then you're talking about $200 is all that you got in this first month off of the amount that you actually borrowed, which was $100,000, okay? So you want to stop this because you want this to be going towards this balance, not just this. You want a lot of that $800 going to your home loan too, right? When you transfer these, right? Okay, so that being said, I also have a scenario here because we had a check in the mail, and we're going to talk about how the check in the mail compares to the line of credit and what it looks like when you're using a line of credit to consolidate, right? The consolidation loan, we've all heard about that and how great it is to consolidate that unsecured debt like your credit cards, stuff like that, into a loan. If you've been watching the channel anytime at all, you know that the loans are not something that I favor because of that interest rate that they act like is smaller. Look here, 5.25. Can you all see 5.25 interest on the loan? This is 27.99% on the credit cards. I know, right? It's crazy. So we did a rundown today, and that's why some of these numbers are marked off, is I did a rundown showing the difference between taking the 27.99%, putting it into the consolidation loan or the line of credit. Which one won? You guys may be totally surprised, but if you've been watching the channel long enough to know, you know that I put this debt here into, which is $31,000 total debt, put it into a PLOC at about 14%, which would be a high right now, 14%. I put it into a PLOC, and guess how many months? How many months do you think it took? Because this was a 10-year payoff, 117 months. So right at 10 years to pay off $31,000 in debt in the 27.99. But in here, the 60-month period in this consolidation loan, how long do you think it took when we used velocity banking and a line of credit at 14%? Go ahead. Go ahead. Take your guess. Take your guess. We got some saying 14 months. We've got some saying 5. We've got some saying 9 months. You're all getting a little crazy. You're getting a little crazy. You had really high cash flow ideas, didn't you? With this cash flow here, paying off this $31,000 in credit card debt into a line of credit would have gained us $1,258, right? So the lady that I was working with, she had $1,100. She had $1,100 cash flow. Okay, let's see. Did she have $1,100? She had $4,600 income. I hope you guys can see this. And $3,958. Let's just do the numbers. I can't remember now. She had $642 in cash flow before we showed the scenario paying off the $1,258. So that meant that she had $1,900 in cash flow here when we eliminated the credit card debt, put it into a line, okay? So with her scenario, if we just showed using a $10,000 line of credit, and with a $10,000 line of credit, if she only had $650, I think is what we were figuring for a cash flow, it was going to pay off in 44 months, okay? 60 months, 44 months. That was only with the $600 cash flow, right? What if I had, really got serious, we moved it all into a $31,000 line of credit at 14%? Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm going to run the numbers right quick and kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at. You're down to 21 months at max, okay? That's the difference that velocity banking can make when you're in a 10-year payoff period, a 5-year payoff period, and then you go below 2 years on payoffs. You can't beat it. You can't beat it, okay? So you guys were a little off, man. I mean, we're using the cash flow here, okay? So you're talking about 21 months max compared to 10 years, even 5 years on a consolidation loan. So don't be fooled when you're getting all of this information in the mail right now. Is not just going to be myself talking about what I teach, but it's going to be bringing in speakers from Utah, from New York, from Colorado. We have them coming in from Oklahoma City, Florida. So we have different speakers all over the U.S. that are coming in to talk about debt tools and wealth tools that's going to help you get started. So I hope you can join us for that. It's going to be jam-packed full. It's going to be able to help you understand better ways to use your money. That's what we're talking about. We want to be able to use our money good. We want to let the money that we do bring in from our income actually help us to fund our futures, make our money work for us. That is solely what I teach. And we're not taught that. We are not taught how to use our money. We are taught to spend our money because we're getting the loans, we're getting the cars, the homes, they all come with loans, we think. And we haven't been taught that there's another way that we can pay off our debt so much faster without the interest. So come and join us. It is virtual. We've set this one up to where you're going to be able to get all of the education you need. Now, let's talk a little bit about who's coming. Like I said, Chris Nagle, I've been releasing videos with him this past week because his tool is so valuable that most people do not even know about. That means that you can not only work with the infinite policies to get out of debt, but you're going to be able to build wealth and the legacy for your kids. So Chris is going to be coming, talking about that. We're going to have the first lien lenders with us. They're going to be talking about what these first lien HELOCs look like, the all-in-one loan, whatever you choose to call it, and whichever product you decide to work with. So now the Money Max is the fastest way to get out of debt, okay? It doesn't care what your DTI is. It doesn't care what your credit score is. So I am excited that you guys are watching these videos because you're learning. That's what we're talking about. We want to be able to use our money good. We want to let the money that we do bring in from our income actually help us to fund our futures, make our money work for us. That is solely what I teach. And we're not taught that. We are not taught how to use our money. We are taught to spend our money because we're getting the loans, we're getting the cars, the homes, they all come with loans, we think. And we haven't been taught that there's another way that we can pay off our debt so much faster without the interest. Now your $400 payment's gone because you've paid it off. Well, I know what you're saying, but I still have the line of credit that I have to pay for. And you're right. And let's say it is double. This was 7%. Let's say this is 14%, okay? Like I said, I don't want anybody to be discouraged. There's a lot going on with us financially right now, especially with inflation so high, okay? I know that it is crazy, and I'm going to tell you how I know is I went to the grocery store and I don't know how people are making it. I do not know how you're buying groceries right now. Forget everything else. The grocery prices are so high that has to be affecting people that were already tight with their paycheck to paycheck living, okay? I'm telling you, I know how you feel about being broke. I know it's exhausting. It takes your energy because you're trying to figure out how to stop this crazy and just have some money to breathe. And I want you guys to know that I think about you every single day. You can ask my husband because he knows that all I talk about is work and how we need to be reaching more and more people with the velocity banking strategies. But not just that, you have ways to build wealth now that I wasn't even aware of until the last few years. So don't think that you're behind. I don't care if you're 75, and I do have clients that are 75. There are options for you to stop the madness of debt. Oh, debt. So stressful. Maybe some ways you'd never thought of before. So it's super important that you learn that there are ways to get out of debt without stressing out all the time, okay? I know we're not taught how to do that. We are actually taught how to never get out of payments because you're always making payments, right? Especially on those homes, you do not have to do that, okay? You do not have to do that. You can get out of debt very, very quickly. Now, I don't want to forget to invite you all to tomorrow night's webinar. It is a Money Max, and if you cannot get a line of credit, if your credit score is so low the bank won't look at you, if you have a high DTI and they won't look at you, please do not get discouraged. We have many options for a lot of people that can use these, not only the infinite banking, not only velocity banking, but the Money Max. The Money Max is a game changer whether or not you can get a line of credit. So like I said, I don't want anybody to be discouraged.